yes, we are back with another one. This week is week 4, and we are doing financial mathematics. Y'all know it's the Sshmoney. I hope you guys are ready for the money. So yeah, we're doing financial mathematics. Please, first things first, do press the subscribe button. It's on this side. Yes, it's on the side. Press the subscribe button. Also, like, comment, share with your friends. I mean, don't be selfish, don't be that person. Also, please do keep in contact with me on the comment section, and I will link my email down below so that you guys can send me questions, any questions that you may have. So yeah, please do the necessary things, guys. Otherwise, see you next week. Thank you so much. Love you. See you. Paper was extracted from the February-March 2016, and we're doing question 7. 7.1.1, we're asked to calculate I, that is the interest rate, quarterly. So you divide your I by 4, which is for quarterly, we know the 4 quarters in a year, and the 10% we're given, so it's 0.1 over 4, and then you get your answer as 0.025. Moving on to 7.1.2. In 7.1.2, we were asked to calculate. You can just go back to read the question, and you'll see that we were asked to calculate the value after 2 years. So basically you take the P that was given, which is 5,000, and then you into the brackets 1 plus 0.1. The 0.1 stands for 10%, divided by 4 since it's quarterly, and you multiply it by 2 for the N, which is 2 years, and you multiply by 4. The 4 stands for quarterly. So what you do is you divide your I by 4 and you multiply your N by 4. That is for quarterly, and then you get your answer to be 6092.014. Moving on to question 7.2. 7.2.1. You can always keep going back to pause the video and go back to see what we were asked to calculate. So yeah, question 7.2.1. basically what I'm doing here is I'm just drawing the number line to show you guys, otherwise it's not even necessary. Just drawing it so that you can have a picture of what it is that we are doing here. So as you can see, in the first month there was 800,000, and then you subtract the 100,000. So basically what I've done here is I've removed the number line, and what I'm left with is you write the present value formula. The formulas are provided at the end of the question paper, but otherwise you are supposed to know this off by heart. It's not very hard. It's just if you know the previous formula, that is the basic formula for compound interest, then it's easy for you to cram this as well. So present value is x into bracket 1 minus I plus 1 plus I to the power of negative, be careful, it's negative n, close bracket, all over I. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just going to substitute all the values. Be careful to know which one is your present value and which one is your future value. And in this case, your present value was 800,000, and the x, which is a future value, is 10,000. So you just substitute the 10,000 as well, and open bracket 1 minus open bracket again 1 plus 0.14. 0.14 is the 14 that was given. You divide by 12. Divide by 12 because this it was said monthly, so that's why you divide by 12 to the power of negative n. Don't forget to say negative n, and everything divided by I. Your I is 0.14 divided by 12. So basically what's left for you to do here is to just sort this out. So basically what I've done is I first cross multiplied the 0.14 over 12 with 800,000. So as you can see, guys, I am just doing that. I've cross multiplied, and what I'm trying to do here is I'm rearranging the numbers into one side and the unknown into the other side, so it is easier for me to just punch everything into the calculator and get my final answer. But what you notice here is I ran out of space, so I just erased everything and continued. So what you can do is you can pause the video or go back to see the previous calculations, and then you can continue. But I hope you're doing this as I'm doing this. So I'm just doing that, as you can see, putting the negative, all this number that is attached to the negative n. So in order for you to be able to get in, it is now in the form of power. You wanted to get into a base. What you do is you apply your log. So when you apply your logs, you can either, what I've chosen to do here is I'm just going to apply log, and then you put the other number that is on the other side of the equal sign. That is the 800,000. 1. Don't forget to take the 1 to the other side. So it comes 1 minus 800,000 times 0.14 over 12. You divide it by 10,000. I forgot to divide by 10,000, but you'll see later on I will add that. And then you take the other half of the equation. You apply your log there as well. And then you put the 1 plus 0.14 over 12. And then you're left with your negative n. So yeah, I just noticed that I forgot to write the 10,000. That's what I'm doing right now. So at this point, you can just punch everything into the calculator and you get your final answer. But obviously the answer that you get, you have to multiply by -1 in order for you to get an n instead of a negative n, because that's what you are looking for. N. So I punched everything into the calculator and I got my answer as negative 2.3323.46. So that my n is 233.46. Otherwise, yeah, that's just that. Depends how you want to round it off. Then remember, guys, in financial mathematics, it's always good to just write a statement after each calculation if necessary, though. Just write a statement that explains, especially if there was a question that was asked, you make sure you read your question correctly and then go back and after getting your answer, just make sure you reread the question and write whatever and answer whatever question was asked. In this case, we see that the number of withdrawals were 233 withdrawals made by Mr. Mutloyi, or whatever that guy's name is. So guys, moving right along to 7.2.2, and you can go back to read the question. The question in 7.2.2, the A part of it, we're asked to calculate what is the value of Mr. Mutloyi's deposit to the nearest rand. So the scenario here is that exactly 4 years after his initial investment, Mutloyi decides to withdraw all the remaining money in his account. So we have initially there's money in his account, and then the money that he withdraws, that is now the future value. So that's why I've decided to take the present value or the compound interest formula and subtract the future value, because that's what it is. There's the investment and also what he has in the future. That is what he took out of his account. We want to know how much is going to be left from that. So as you can see, I've started writing the 8. Basically what you see here is the A is equal to P into open bracket 1 plus I to the power n, and then you use the future value as well, but the space is too little. That's why I decided to write the other half of it underneath that. So I've started doing that, and be very mindful of words written such as quarterly or monthly is. So in this case, we were asked, it said monthly. So at 1 plus 0.14 over 12 to the power of 48 is basically the n multiplied by 4. And again, I did the same thing, but now in the future value formula. And it's 10,000, open bracket 1 minus 1 plus 0.1 to the power of 4, 0.1.4 over 12 and to the power of minus 48. Be mindful of the signs also. It's minus 48 for the future value formula, and you divide all of that. So I got my answers for the present value and also for the future value, and then you subtract the two and see what you have left, and that will be our answer. I hope you guys understand. So our last question for today is 7.2.2b, and we're asked to calculate the purchase price of the house to the nearest rand, and we were given that Mutlu's deposit is exactly 30% of the purchase price of the house. So what you can see that I've done here is I let my y to be equal to the purchase price of the house, and then I take the number that I got previously and you divide by y, multiply, which is you equate it to 30%, as it is said in the question. So you do know that 30% is 0.3, and basically just cross multiply, and then you have 0.3y and whatever that number is, and then basically what you have to do last is you divide both sides by 0.3 and you get your answer. So that'll be it for this week, guys. Thank you so very much for watching. Yeah.
Models and I'm here right now. No role models to speak of. Searching through my memory, I couldn't find one. Last night